I have the pleasure and honor today to introduce County Executive Jessica Fitzwater. Before becoming our county executive, she too had a career in education, and as she knows, I'm always proud to say, is a Hood alum. County Executive Fitzwater was a strong environmental advocate as a member of the County Council. It was mentioned earlier her important work on that on the report that came out of that, and that continued in the transition report developed by more than 130 Frederick County residents. Her passion for Frederick County throughout her entire career is very apparent. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is such an exciting day, and I want to just start by saying congratulations to Mobilize Frederick on your first annual, because you've set the standard now, your first annual Climate Summit, and also thank you to President Chapdelaine for hosting and for all of your incredible partnerships on this work and many, many other important parts of the work that we're all doing together in Frederick County. So I became county executive in December and have brought a focus on accountability, inclusion, and sustainability. And while all three of these values are central to our administration, the sustainability piece is close to my heart. It's about decision-making and long-range planning using data, science, and best practices to ensure that our community is mitigating climate risks and building resilience so that we can achieve our livable Frederick vision for generations to come. That vision says that Frederick County is a unique and vibrant community where everyone can live, work, and thrive and feel a strong sense of place and belonging. And the work that we're going to do today and that we're going to continue to do is essential for us to realize that vision and achieve that vision for everybody in Frederick County. As a county council member for 8 years prior to being elected as county executive, one of my proudest achievements was leading the charge to create the county's climate emergency resolution in 2020 that Barb talked about, and because I truly believe that climate change is a defining issue of our time. In Frederick County, we're already seeing increased average temperatures and extreme heat days, where we saw maybe 20 days per year above 90 degrees in the last couple of decades. We're now seeing more like 40 days and predict we will see between 100 and 190 high degree days by 2070. That's an extremely quickly growing trend. This is a great concern for people who work outside, for our infrastructure, for vulnerable populations who lack air conditioning, especially in urban areas. Here in Frederick, climate change will also bring, as we know, an increased risk of drought and bigger, more severe storms that can cause flooding and other hazards. Again, our most vulnerable citizens have the least resilience to plan for and recover from these kinds of events. We've seen increased intensity of rainfall over shorter time frames, like in May 2018 and September of 2021, which I'm sure everyone in this room remembers, where we had flooded roads, bridge damage, and open water rescues. The right time to act is now, and each one of us are the right people to act and for us to mobilize others in our community to do the same. As Barb already mentioned, the Climate Emergency Resolution sets goals to do our part by reducing both internally governmental and community-wide greenhouse gas emissions that cause climate change, 50% by 2030 and 100% by 2050. And the resolution also created the community-driven Climate Emergency Mobilization Work Group. Barb stole my thunder a little bit. She already shared with you the over 18,000 hours of volunteer time that this work group put in to produce the Climate Response and Resilience Report in August 2021. And I'm proud to say that our Division of Energy and Environment uses that report as a core guiding document to guide their work. And it's really exciting to see that type of community effort and that engagement with government and seeing the progress that has been made and will continue to be made. So I know you already got a round of applause, but if you were on the Climate Emergency Mobilization Work Group, I know you already stood, so you can just wave this time, but we'd love to recognize you one more time because many of you are here. Thank you all. I'm grateful that many of these same folks, including the president of the board of Mobilize Frederick, who were members of the work group, have moved on to create Mobilize Frederick and continue this work. And they're taking all of this good work in our community so that we can all be part of the action. Mobilize Frederick will be working, has been, and will continue to be working closely with our Division of Energy and Environment to share community interests in climate planning and execution. You're going to hear a lot today from Mobilize and its partners about positive ways to change the climate, both big and small. We know that addressing climate change only works if we all do our part, and that includes Frederick County government. As a result of the recommendations of the Climate Response and Resilience Report, the county executive and the council created the Division of Energy and Environment with departments of stormwater and climate and energy, and created key climate and energy programs. We recently partnered with the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments to produce a Frederick County Government Climate and Energy Action Plan for internal operations that aligns with the region's plan and also the community-based Climate Resilience and Response Report. County government's emissions represent about 1% of the community-wide emissions. Our internal emissions were reduced 20% between our baseline year of 2010 and 2018, and we're continuing that work. Though our contribution is small, we are committed to leading by example to reduce our use of fossil fuels and to make Frederick County government more resilient to the effects of climate change. We've also created a building energy performance program. Buildings and facilities are about half of the county's greenhouse gas emissions. Building energy performance includes tracking energy data, comparing building energy performance to similar facilities, and putting together a strategy for buildings to reduce energy and for completing those projects. We're also partnering with our utility, Potomac Edison, to train our building managers to identify and implement opportunities for building energy efficiency. We're helping Frederick County businesses to get business energy saving tune-ups by contributing cost share for energy efficiency upgrades to utility rebates. And our clean energy program offsets 100% of our building electricity with clean energy. Some of you may know that we have a large solar site on our landfill, which produces over 4,000 megawatt hours of clean energy and goes towards our wastewater treatment plant. We installed a solar canopy charger at our DPW Bourne building, and we're greening our fleet with an alternative fuel vehicles study for the county fleet so we can see which vehicles we can convert to electric or biofuels now and which we can do in the future. So many of these actions are helping us to be a leader and showing that we're holding ourselves accountable for the things that we're also mobilizing the community to do as well. We're looking to the community to make sure we're identifying places and spaces where we can make even bigger impacts. We've done a lot, and that's only a part of it, but we know that there's more to do to meet the goals that we set back in 2020. So I brought together key community leaders to help us develop and define our goals around sustainability, infrastructure, and transportation as a part of my transition team, with many of those members likely in this room as well. And as a result of their work, we have a roadmap for how we can make our community more resilient and environmentally friendly. In line with one of the transition team's recommendations, we will be conducting a solar siting study to identify the best places in the county to put new installations and meet our fair share of statewide goals for clean energy generation. My Office of Energy and Environment will also be launching a community-wide climate and energy action plan with a focus on equity. And just recently, in an effort to ensure climate and energy work are clearly enterprise-wide work within county government, I moved the Division of Energy and Environment to report under the Chief Administrative Officer so that it is clearly viewed as an enterprise-wide function and priority. We know that climate change affects everyone, but it does not affect everyone equally. To be truly equitable, we need broad community input especially from people who have not always felt invited to be part of the public process. If you're affected by our decisions, you belong in the decision-making process. So I hope that you'll find our table for the Division of Energy and Environment over in Whitaker Commons, and I hope that you'll connect with us on the issues that you care about. So it's going to be a great day, and it's time to mobilize Frederick. Thanks, everyone.